Welcome to Murder and Everything Else. My name is Joy.
And my name is Cheryl, and Joy and I are two very old friends who are going to talk about murder and everything else.
Cheryl!
Yes.
Today I went to the clinic and got my second shingles vaccine. I didn't even know they came in twos. I got the first one like 2 years ago, so I'm surprised they didn't make me do that all over again. But I got the second shingles vaccine, and listen to this. So the nurse comes in to give me the vaccine, and she says, let's put it in your non-dominant arm, which is pretty common. I'm right-handed, so they put it in my left arm. And she says, just leave your arm slack, the whole thing. She pulls up my sleeve and she puts the alcohol swab, blah, blah, blah. And then I say, am I going to feel as shitty as I did when I got the first shingles vaccine? Because I said the first one was pretty shitty. And she goes, I didn't get the shingles vaccine. And she's got the needle like right above my skin. And I'm like, what? She's the fucking nurse. And she goes, yeah, I'm a nonconformist. And then she stabs the thing into my arm. And then she was really fast. I mean, I swear to you, I was like, I didn't even know if she was coming or going. Then she whips that thing out and slaps a Band-Aid on, and she goes, I don't just get any old vaccine. And she's all right, you're done. She's all, you can go. And I'm like, what the hell?
Do you think that was her aversion tactic? Is that the right word? So that you would not be...
No, I think that she had I feel like maybe she had some super secret information about the shingles vaccine, and she chose not to tell me. She just chose to tell me that she didn't get it. And then she stabbed him with the vaccine while I'm sitting there, and now I've been infected with some kind of under the skin famunda that I can never take back.
Funda from under the skin.
That's right.
Wait, I have a question. Yeah. I thought you are supposed to get the second one within 3 to 6 months or 3 to 4 months or something like that.
That's what I mean when I say I'm surprised that they were just like, yeah, you need the second one 2 years later. Because I'm like,
Joy, I don't know about that. I think you need to go back and get the first one.
Well, I'm not doing it. And so there.
Yeah, but what if the one that you got today was for nothing? Because you got to get that other one first. I swear to God, I don't think you can wait 2 years.
I don't know, but I'll tell you this much. I'd like to have a little sit down chitty chat with that nurse and find out what she knows that I don't know. Hey, any of our listeners out there in Listeningville had the second or first shingles vaccine, let us know. I can tell you from experience, the first one knocked me on my keister. I was so out of it. But I also had the flu vaccine, and I think I had the COVID vaccine all in the same day. So it was like a trifecta of vaccines. So I was feeling pretty puny.
Where are you going? Are you going to like the corner, your nearest corner where they sell oranges and flowers and getting your vaccine there? Because
that's right. That's right. They have a little sign that says hand jobs, shingles. I picked the shingles.
No, because listen, I know when I've gotten some of these vaccines, it'll say you cannot have had, I don't know, the COVID vaccine, one or the other ones within 6 weeks of you getting the other one. So the fact that you got them all in one day is very concerning. Where did you go? Because everybody has to avoid that place.
Right. Yeah. Reach out one-on-one, guys. There's a good chance that you don't go there. Anyway, welcome back, everyone in Listeningville. It is summer. It's summer here. It's summer there. It's summer everywhere. If you live
Uh,
in a place where it's not summer, I am dying to hear how cold it is. You know, Cheryl, we have friends in Maine right now. It's and one of sorry, it's Susan. And Susan sent me a picture of her husband putting a puzzle together and he's wearing long sleeves and I was like, "Why is your husband wear I'm not going to say his name cuz I don't know if he wants me to say his name. Why is your husband wearing long sleeves?" And she goes, "It's 58 degrees outside." So guess what? In Maine,
oh, wow.
it's pretty fucking cold.
In June?
Yeah.
Is
So
that
you heard
normal?
it here, folks. You want to get away from some hot summer, hot girl summer? You head up to Maine where it'll be cold girl summer.
Oh, I gotta move over there. But
Yeah.
is it normal for them? Or are they just having a weird, like,
Uh,
extra long spring?
I don't know. I really, really wish I knew. Or maybe I don't, because then I'd probably move there.
Right. Yeah, but if
Anywho,
it's 58 in June, I wonder what their winters are like. Ew.
oh,
Cool.
I lived in Maine for like from like July until November.
Of when?
Um, 1979.
Oh, I don't know if I knew that. What
Isn't
were
that
you doing?
great? And then it's a long story, but we were waiting for my mom's work visa to come through so we could move to Kingston, Jamaica. So we had nowhere to go because we'd already sold our house in California and blah, blah, blah. So my mom had a friend in Maine on this very tiny little cape called South Harpswell. And we moved to Maine and lived at this horse ranch where she had like chickens and cats and dogs and horses. And we fed animals and waited and we started school. And it was the first I started the 5th grade, and it was the first time I got to ride a school bus to school, and it was the first time I had a male teacher. And then in November, the visa came through, and we went from literally snow on the ground to a hot, humid, summery climate because you're smack in the middle of the Caribbean Sea. And boy, let me tell you, I mean, we felt like it was 1,000 degrees, but of course, in November, it was only like 80, you
Did
know?
you like Jamaica?
Oh my god, I loved it. I
And
loved it.
did they have big roaches there that they killed?
Huge and they fly. Ooh, and
That's
their
the
wings
one.
make that noise pop, 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 pop when they're hitting the
Oh, stop!
wall.
Stop.
All right, guys. I need to go over some updates. Cheryl, hold on to your hat, girlfriend. We have
Hold up.
officially rounded the 3,000 all time listens milestone. So thank you
That,
to all of you who have listened. That's Francoise, Doreen, and Cheryl and myself. We really, really, really appreciate the support. I have had so many calls with Apple support. I feel like I'm on a first name basis with most of the support people there. They have certainly helped me so much in the last 2 weeks, and they haven't helped me completely because we're still not on Apple Podcasts, but they've helped me a lot, and I feel like I could work for Apple support now. I really do. I mean
well, what have they done since they haven't really helped you? What
I
have they
mean,
done?
they, we're
Silence.
we send emails back and forth now. I don't have to call in anymore. But I feel like I
All
could
right.
work for them, and I'm gonna maybe pitch. I don't know if Tim Cook's still in charge, but any of you our listeners out there who work with Apple, you know who you are. Reach out to me and see if maybe you need a podcaster on the team. And also, I have a retraction. Jean-Claude Van Damme is not French, he's Belgian. Apologies to our French listener, Francoise, and any Belgian listeners. I forgot to check nationalities before I started heading into my best French accent, and I mistakenly love Jean Claude Van Damme with all my French friends. Mon mea
Oh,
culpa, as they
Lord.
say in France. So, anyway, Cheryl, you got any updates?
I do have an update. I'm all pretty much settled. I'm settled in my new place. There's just some finishing touches. And I just really love it. And it's just really great. It's my
Aw.
little hideaway. And I
Guys,
think
it's a little house she lives in.
Callie, I think Callie loves it. And I told you earlier that I have to get, establish myself with a whole new pharmacy and grocery store and whatever, whatever, whatever. But it's kind of exciting,
I
it's like
love new
mm,
grocery stores.
it's a new it's a new area, so it's all new. It's like I moved, which I did. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's like you're moving to I could be in another state for all I knew. You know what I mean? Because I got to learn like all the areas around here, but it's kind of exciting. So yeah,
That's
that's my update.
exciting.
Yeah.
Very cool. I'm so glad you moved in and that there's no bone on bone issues and no back being thrown out. That means it was successful because, guys, at our age, you know what? If you can get through the fucking day without throwing some shit out or twisting something or bruising something, it's a good day.
It
Ugh.
is. That is so true. Oh my gosh. Mm-mm.
Hey, Cheryl, let's go to shout outs. I have a
Okay.
shout out to the people who make bathing suits for 55-year-old women with no butts and zero hip action, but but all the junk is in the front. And I'm shouting you out because I haven't found anyone yet that's making these, but there's got to be someone out there who is interested in making a buck. And so, listeners, reach out, let me know if you know who makes these suits. Remember, no butt, no hips, lots of junk in the front. All right? I can't have a freak accident.
Biker shorts. Um,
Yeah, biker shorts are good. It's I feel like we're headed back to preschool.
mm,
Where you have to wear the biker shorts under the skirt. Actually, what's funny?
yeah, yeah.
I d-
Uh-huh.
I don't own a single skirt.
You don't, but you own dresses.
I do. I have
What?
dresses, but zero
Why is
skirts.
that? Why is that?
It's too many bells and whistles. I really feel like I'm headed back to being a toddler because I look at these onesies where all you do is just step into it and it's like a whole thing, top and bottom, and I really like them.
Mhm. Oh, like rompers. Why don't you get a romper?
Yeah. Hey, any listeners out there who have embraced the romp him, let me know. I can't get my husband to embrace the romp him.
What's romping?
Instead of a romp her, it's a romp him.
Oh God. I'm like, jeez, I have to ask.
It's really Google it, Cheryl. It's really called a romp him.
You lie.
Anywho, it is. Believe me. Believe me, I know I have teenagers. Okay, heading on to letters from our
Well, hold on. I
Oh
have a
wait,
shout out.
what about your shout out?
Oh gosh. Okay. I have, and I think this is a repeat shout out, but it is worth repeating. I have a shout out to all my friends who are good cooks. You, Priscilla,
Ooh.
Christine, Stephanie. And Stephanie and Christine get a special shout out because they have both, well, Stephanie gave me a little care package during my move when I had stuff all over the place. Could like it was like I was a hoarder trying to walk through all this shit, and there was no way I was gonna, even warming something up was like a big effort, but it was so nice because she gave me all this home cooked food, and then Christine also gave me home cooked food. So I'm like the wayward
Aw,
child with all my friends, and they know I don't like to cook, and so they feed me, and so I want to give a shout out to all those friends.
that is so
Yeah,
nice.
it is.
I like that. Now you
I
don't have
swear,
to
in
go
my
get the
next life.
buffalo cucumber lime.
You guys, I re-listened to that episode where I talk about the rap and I can't remember what it's called. And I had to laugh at myself when I say, I don't know what it's called, but I know that Buffalo is in it for sure.
Oh my god. That is so funny. Hey, so now we're gonna head into our letters from our listeners, and we got a lengthy text from Francoise. And I'm just going to paraphrase it and only pick out a couple of the different updates that she sent us in her letter. The first thing I'm going to say is she said, I love bangs. I convinced one of my kids, I'm not going to say her name, to get bangs, and she agreed. Then she said, I'm the only girl in the class and in my soccer team with bangs, so bangs are special. Anyway, you're
Thank you.
absolutely right. Offspring of Francois, bangs are very special and they look amazing on you. And then the other thing she said is, I am not watching The French Bachelor and I am not keeping you updated on it because I don't care about it. But I want to hear both of you mispronounce the French names and have a good laugh.
Like
So
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
that's right. So, anyway, stay tuned to see if we decide to do The French Bachelor or not. I don't mean do him, I mean watch it because obviously that's not going to happen. That yeah. Anyway, you know what I mean. So anywho, Cheryl doesn't have any letters from our listeners this week. So we're going to just jump head first into this week's topic. How
Okay.
does that sound, Cheryl?
It sounds fantastic.
Nice. Anyway, for those of you that listened to the episode we did on Ozempic way back in season 1, it was for those of you who might want to go back and listen to it, it was episode number 5. It was called Type 2 Diabetes, Ozempic and Weight Loss, and it came out on February 12th, 2023. Isn't that crazy, Cheryl? We've been
Yeah,
doing
that's
this for a year and a half.
yeah, that's incredible.
It's
And by
so
the way, everyone, do you say diabetes? Do you say diabetes or diabetes?
for
Thank you.
diabetes. I say
Oh, if you say,
diabetes, and
oh,
everybody in my family makes fun of me. They say I'm like Wilford Brimley because remember he used to do those diabetes ads, and people would make fun of him because he'd go, "I have diabetes." Anyway, everybody makes fun of me, and
well, and yeah, and how do you say Patreon?
Patran. Anyway, anyway, um, there have been questions about what happened with me taking this medication. Did I maintain the weight loss? Did I have any health troubles? Did I have to change medication? What is the update? And so I wanted to do an episode updating everybody on this medication, but also talking about just one person, myself, experience with a semaglutide, which is the medicine that I took Ozempic, and the new medicine that I am currently taking, which is called Mounjaro. For those of you who are listening, there's also Wegovy. There's like multiple different names because obviously different pharmaceutical manufacturers give it a different name, but it's all the same thing. It's called a semaglutide. And
Wait,
for those of you,
can I ask a question?
yeah,
Where do they get these names? Manjaro sounds like
I
a
have a theory.
popular.
I have a
Okay.
theory that they get a focus group of toddlers in a room, and then they, because I'm a nanny, and like the dolls for the little girl I take care of, one's name is Jumpock, the other one's name is Kachuchu, and then the third one's name is Baby Baby. So I have a theory that they put a bunch of toddlers in the room and they hold up a picture and they say, give this a name, and the kids go, Mounjaro,
Manjaro!
and then they go, what's this one?
Wegovy!
Wegovy. Yeah, because they literally make no sense at all.
Well, I
Anyway,
can't wait for Baby Baby to come out.
I know, right? And every time she says baby baby, I go baby baby baby, oh. Anyway, so a semaglutide is an anti-diabetic medication used for the treatment of type 2 diabetes and an anti-obesity medication used for long-term weight management. And so, for those of you who don't know, these medicines were designed as injectables on a weekly basis for the treatment of type 2 diabetes. And one of the side effects of them is weight loss. And it's a long-term weight loss management medication because, as I talked about in that other episode 5, um, these surgeries like gastric sleeve and gastric bypass, these were temporary weight loss management tools, but one of the things that happened was, while they were life-saving for many patients that were morbidly obese or had a lot of like other health issues, they call them comorbidities, that would make their obesity like so much more life-threatening. While they were temporary, like, stopgap measures or temporary solutions, a lot of those patients, once they adjusted to the size of their stomach being so much smaller and how much they could or couldn't eat, and they lost significant amounts of weight, which obviously helped them with health issues, a lot of times they gained back significant amounts of weight because the stomach is like a little sack and it expands and then shrinks down. And so as they were able to adjust to a small amount of food, then they could eat a little bit more and a little bit more. And what it didn't do was, it wasn't a long-term weight management solution. It was just a short term. And by short term, I mean, 2 to 5 years. There are patients who have had those surgeries who adhere to a very strict schedule or diet. But I mean, let's face it, it's not like those surgeries came with any kind of psychological interventions or any kind of mental, like, any kind of mental health treatment that would address the reasons or some of the reasons why people maybe like ate compulsively or overate on a regular basis. So what good is a surgery? Like, okay, so maybe for 2 to 5 years, you'll see improvement in your blood pressure and your cholesterol, in your type 2 diabetes and your, blah, blah, blah. But if you're an inactive person before, you're probably going to be an inactive person after.
Right.
So anyway, so in the fall of 2023, around November, I could tell that I had started gaining weight with the Ozempic. And I had been on it for 2.5 years at that point. I was eating more and more at mealtime. And I had talked about the Ozempic curbing my appetite, but it wasn't working as well. It was like it no longer was effective. And
so you were hungrier.
I was hungry more often, and I was more hungry at mealtime. So I would eat a normal amount of food, but I was still gaining weight. And previously, the Ozempic curbed my appetite to such an extreme that I couldn't actually continue eating.
Right.
So I noticed that. But the biggest thing I noticed was I was having to wake up at night to go to the bathroom. And I had not had to do that for 2.5 years. So I had a home scale, but I don't know if you people are investing in like medical equipment in the home, doctor's grade scales. Remember the scale with the little thing where they go 50 or 100 or 150, and then they had the little doohickey that went up and down, and and it would like balance out. Remember that? Anyway.
Yes, and I'd be like, stop.
Yeah.
Stop right there.
Well, I don't know if people are investing in those or if they've thrown them all out and you can pick one up for really cheap at your local swap meet. But my scale consistently weighed me in 7 to 10 pounds lighter than the doctor's scale. So going to the doctor, first of all, I don't know why I didn't take that piece of shit outside and run it over, hit it with a hammer. Because going to the doctor was so depressing. every fucking time. And I would wear I'd take all the underwear off. I would do, remember I talked about the pre-doctor diet. I'd wear no clippies in my hair. I put no makeup on. I would literally weigh my dress and pick the lightest dress. It was the winter time. I'd go in there practically barefoot and I would still be 7 to 10 pounds heavier. So thanks to a friend who moved to Peru, who gave me her scale, I now have a scale that weighs me 1 to 2 pounds lighter than the doctor's scale. That I can live with.
Right.
But 7 to 10 pounds is just whack.
That's weird.
Right?
Yeah.
False advertising. Anyway, so I went to the doctor and I said, does this medication wear off after time? Because even though my A1C was still low, it was not as low as it had been at its lowest. And all my blood work looked good. The doctor didn't seem surprised that I had started to gain weight on the Ozempic after 2.5 years. And that kind of surprised me. I asked about whether or not they had seen patients come in after a certain amount of time that the medication was no longer effective. And she said that they had seen patients stay on the medication, but then they definitely needed to change. So it wasn't like absolutely, we see this across the board, but it also wasn't no, I don't know what you're talking about. It was some people don't seem to respond well after a certain time, which I feel like is a very classic answer. Don't you?
Yeah. And it's interesting to me. I'd like to see how I react to that, because you know how you explaining how you did with the first shingle shot. I did you get like that with COVID, the COVID shot too? Does it knock you out?
No.
Okay, because I've never reacted, thank God, knock on wood, to any of the vaccines. I don't get any, just maybe some soreness at the site where they stab you, as you say, but not from the vaccine itself. Anyway.
Well, I'm just going to tell you as I'm speaking, the fingers on my left hand are tingly after getting that shingle shot. So anyway.
Oh, great.
Anywho, so like I said, even though my blood work looked good, I know that somebody's going to want to know how much weight I had gained. So I had gained 11 pounds, which the only issue to me was that my pants were tighter. 11 pounds to a doctor is substantial.
Yeah.
Especially since you've gone through all that work to take off weight. And believe me, I took off more than 11 pounds. So anyway, it was an issue to my doctors. So they switched me to Mounjaro and said there'll be better results with taking Mounjaro. We don't want to see your A1C go up. My blood pressure, obviously, because it's linked to weight, had gone up a little bit. And their main issue right now is trying to manage my blood pressure. So anyway, whatever. So yeah, I have a blood pressure cuff and I check my blood pressure every morning too. So the doctor checked me and said I should be good, but warned me that I would most likely experience side effects. And so I said, will I have to go through all the side effects like I did at the beginning of the Ozempic? And the doctor said, I'd like to say no, but each medication comes with its own set of side effects. And if you you most likely will have to go through them, which again is smart for the doctor to say, because if I even have one side effect, at least the doctor warned me, right?
Right.
But remember that when I took the Ozempic, I felt like I had morning sickness for 3 to 5 months.
Oh, God.
So I'm thinking about nausea, vomiting, food aversions, fatigue, headaches, general malaise, the need to lay down and nap half the day, rolling up into a ball and crying, stomach cramping, yeah, all that kind of stuff. Hot
Mhm.
flashes. So I'm not looking forward to that.
Is
But of
that what she
course,
said? Were the side could be the side effects? That's what she
no,
said?
but no, but I'm thinking back to what I went through when I got onto the Ozempic. And the worst was the stomach cramping. I remember saying to my husband, it's a good thing I don't have a full-time job because I literally feel like I have some horrible gastrointestinal like dysentery and I'm going to have to now wear diapers because I would start to cramp and then I'd have to be in the bathroom for like 3 to 5 days. I mean, it was horrible.
See, now I feel like these
Like
medicines.
why should I take a medicine that makes me feel like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, you know what I could do is go on a boat, and then that would do the
Yeah.
same thing for me because I get
You
so
could
seasick.
go and drink pond water and then take a cruise.
And I wouldn't eat for a month.
Yeah.
So it just seems counterintuitive to me, some of these side effects. Like
Yeah,
you,
and
yeah,
you're right. And remember, I had tried to titrate up to a higher dose of Ozempic, and it had not worked for me. I had such severe joint and hip pain that I requested to go back down to a lower dosage. So the doctor already knew that going up in the Ozempic was not going to work for me. And when anyone who wants to know, the joint pain was so severe, I felt like I had um like been in a car accident and like and you've been in a car accident, like the next like week and a half where you literally can't move because your body aches all over. So
oh,
that was not something I could go back to doing, um just to see if the Ozempic works. So um also I didn't want to have to. We talked about not taking anything and just staying on the Ozempic, but I didn't want to have to crack out the fat pants. And for those of you who know me, I don't keep my fat pants. I get rid of them. So I would have had to go buy a whole bunch of fat pants again. So I decided to switch. And of course, I had to start at a low dose and work my way back up. And it's a different dosage system. Also, it's a completely different type of pin. But anyway, before I go into that, let me start with both of these medications in my case are for the treatment of type 2 diabetes. I took metformin, which is a pill, and at one point I was taking 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening, and it was not effective. And the side effects were whack.
mm,
Um So that's when they suggested that I go on the Ozempic. And just so you know, I didn't go on the Ozempic so that I could lose 100 pounds and go to the Met Gala or so that I could fit into a size 2 ball gown. That having been said, if you're taking Ozempic so you can fit into a size 2 ball gown and go to the Met Gala, more power to you. I hope you get to keep the dress. But that's not why I took it because there's been a lot of buzz about celebrities taking these pills, these injectables just for vanity reasons. Um, so let me talk a little bit about how I give myself the medication. The Mounjaro is the same in that I inject it once a week at the same time and the same day. It differs that the pin has a very teeny, teeny, tiny needle, much like the finger prick that's used for the diabetes test at the doctor. It's barely perceptible, whereas the Ozempic needle was more painful and left tiny scars all over my stomach. So I also have to hold the pin in place for longer. The Ozempic, I think you counted to 6 seconds. The Mounjaro, I keep for 10 seconds. And then I also push the skin up underneath the pin so that, there's like a little bubble of fat right there. And I also
mhm.
inject it right below my belly button on my abdominal part of my body, which is the same place I injected the Ozempic. But I was thinking about moving it around. What do you think? You think I should move it around? Maybe what I'll try doing. Oh, maybe if I inject it into a place. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe if I inject it into the top of my foot, um,
Or
It'll
between your
take.
toes like a
Oh
junkie.
yeah. Ooh, it'll take longer to get to my stomach. I don't know. Anywho, um, the medicine pin for the Mounjaro has a cap, and you just unlock it. The Ozempic had to be turned to the right number, and you had to click, 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 click to the right dosage point. So I feel like the Mounjaro pin is much easier to use than the Ozempic pin.
Is it
Um,
several pre-filled syringes, pins, or
yeah,
whatever?
so each medicine prescription box comes with 4 pins, so enough for a month, and each one has the titrated amount of medicine. So you use it once, and then I put it in a container for sharps. The other thing is, these pharmaceutical companies that make this need to have a system set up where that you can send back the sharps and they'll recycle them. These are pins that are the size of large dry erase markers, and I'm throwing them in a plastic bin. But then what do I do when the bin is full? It's not like I can just take it out and put it in the trash. These are sharps. People can find them, and they're contaminated. They
Right,
punctured my skin. So it's kind of annoying. They need to have a recycle program.
right.
Um
Ooh, that's going to start another
yeah,
business.
I know, right? So, let me talk a little bit about the dosage. The numbers on the Ozempic dosages didn't seem to make sense to me. It was like 0.05, and then it was like 1.7, and then 2.4, and then 7.8. I mean, it was just like, who was picking those numbers? But the Manjaro is like, I started with a 5 milligram pin, and then I was bumped up to 7.5 milligram pin, and now the doctor wants to bump me up to a 10 milligram pin. But guess what? Due to a market shortage, because everyone's taking it for a myriad of reasons, I can't move up to the pin that the doctor has prescribed me because it's not available in any market. So I'm
Hmm.
sitting where I'm sitting because of, so anyway. But in the meantime, I don't have any additional side effects that are horrific. So let me talk about the side effects when I did switch. So remember, I switched back in, I believe it was March or April.
Of
um,
last year?
l- no, of this year.
This
Oh,
year?
sorry. No, I'm sorry. I switched in January. That's what I
Yeah, I
did.
was going to say it was longer
Yeah,
than
yeah.
just a couple of months.
Yeah, I switched in January, and I was so hesitant to switch because of the side effects. And remember, if you're listening to this, everybody has different side effects. No two people have the same side effect. These medications affect everyone differently. Uh, to begin with, I had no side effects for 2 weeks. It was like I had not changed medications. But after 3 weeks, I started noticing some changes. The first change was that all of a sudden I started getting these sulfur burps within 12 hours of my first dosage. So by
Mm.
Monday night, I started every time I would burp excessively and everything tasted like sulfur. So it was like I
Ugh.
had eaten, yeah, it was like I had eaten a bunch of hard boiled eggs. It was disgusting.
Oh, God,
And the
that's
yeah,
disgusting.
I know. I really know how to sell it, right? So the sulfur burps lasted through Thursday night and even Friday morning. So it was Monday night to Thursday night or Friday. So let me just tell you, I didn't want to eat anything from Monday night to Thursday night or Friday morning because everything I ate came back to haunt me by way of sulfur burps. So it made food taste mostly disgusting.
That
As
can't
time has
be
gone,
healthy. That
I know,
cannot
right?
be healthy.
As time has gone by, the burps have subsided. And I only get them once in a while, maybe an odd meal here or there. And I have discovered that the things that trigger it are meals that are carb heavy. So pasta, rice, potatoes, bread.
Hmm.
The other thing is the sulfur burps were accompanied by explosive, watery, um, shardy sharts and diarrhea and diarrhea.
Oh my
So
God.
if the burps, if you didn't like want to leave because of the burps, now you definitely want to stop listening because of the shardy sharts and the diarrhea.
Shardy sharks. You know, you could have the same thing from food poisoning.
I
Just
know.
go to a
That's what
really,
it
really
yeah,
shady
that's right.
drive-through.
Go back to that pond and start drinking the water. I I was almost incapable of eating spicy food, and I actually am not able to eat a lot of spicy food anymore, which makes me sad because for those of you that know me, I love me some spicy food. Um
Yeah,
I really do. I put hot sauce on everything. Anyway, I didn't have a lot of fatigue. I had a little fatigue that lasted maybe 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and I had l- no headaches. I didn't have I didn't have the morning sickness, but again, I had the shorty shorts and I had the burps. So I ask you, which one's worse, you know?
oh my
Um,
God. Boy, you must have been really fun to be around during that
but
time.
I know, right? But I'll tell you what, I do not have any cravings or any urges to eat any specific foods right now. And snack foods like chips and greasy things like French fries do not appeal to me. Um,
Well, yeah.
so that's kind of weird. Again, I felt like I felt like the not having urges to eat any specific thing also was an Ozempic thing.
Mhm.
It's like that part of my brain that tells me, "Ooh, you know what sounds really good? Funyuns." It's like it's broken, you
Yeah,
know?
I uh, I don't know. How long did this go on? Your shardy sharts?
That only went on for about 6 weeks.
Only? And what oh my God. Do they tell you cuz you get dehydrated when you have, you
Yeah,
know.
and I had to try to force myself to drink more liquid because I also didn't crave any liquid. That part was really weird. I could tell you that there were probably 3 days a week that I was dehydrated. But here's what happened. I did lose those 11 pounds that I had gained back.
Mhm.
I lost them. But anyway, I'll get to that in a minute. So one big difference between Ozempic and Mounjaro is that I learned that I have to manage my portion control on the outside on the before I sit down to eat with Mounjaro. With Ozempic, I was limited in how much I could eat at one time. My body would literally just stop. I'd be like, I
Mhm.
can't eat anymore. With Manjaro, I've had to learn how to limit how much I eat beforehand. So I have to put the food on the plate and then I have to like I have to maybe short myself a couple bites because if I accidentally eat too much, then the acid reflux and the burping kicks in.
Mm.
So when I go to eat out, I'll pick out the veggies and the protein out of the meal and focus on eating just that. And I'll avoid the starchy stuff like rice, pasta, potatoes, and bread. So I'm not filling up on that stuff and I won't get that sick feeling of having eaten too much.
Mm.
Or I'll say, let's share something. So that is my go to now is whenever I go out to eat, I love sharing something with the girls or with my spouse because they
Mm.
can eat more than I can, and I'll pick out, like, the veggies they don't like, or I'll pick out, the protein or whatever and have a little bit of that, and then maybe a bite or 2 of rice. I mean, remember, rice is life. I am a Korean person, so rice is nice. Like, I can't I can't eat Asian food without rice, am I right?
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, we
Ugh,
need to eat a lot of rice, white rice in our
yeah,
culture.
yeah. Anyway, so I will say in regards to eating food and managing food, all the food chatter in my head is gone. And for those of you who've tried diets and fad diets and every meal plan out there, you know what I mean when I say chatter. And that is like ooh, I'm really craving this, or I'm really want to eat this, it's all gone. So when people say, like when my spouse say like, "What do you feel like eating?" I'll be like, "You guys pick because I literally don't care." And I don't. I'm just as happy eating a piece of pizza or a plate of salad or a bowl of Brussels sprouts or a piece of grilled chicken as I am eating, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter. Somebody else has to choose now because I can I I'll eat whatever.
It again, it's my same comment though from the Ozempic one. Doesn't that take away some of the joy of life?
No, because I can still eat. I mean, at least the doctor hasn't said like, "Oh, by the way, you're gonna have to eliminate rice from your diet." Oh, I think I would have to like change my name and join
Find
the
find another
witness
doctor.
yeah, witness protection program, dye my hair blonde and change my name to Consuelo. I swear to you, I could not live without rice. But anyway, no, I mean, I can eat whatever I want to. Like I had a couple french fries yesterday. It was nice. They
Ooh.
didn't yeah, and I had a couple,
Being
and
facetious.
so yeah, and so I didn't get the burps and the shirty sharts.
Well, so the thing is, people are who are not do not have diabetes. What? How do you say it?
Diabetes.
Diabetes. Is that right?
Yes, it's
I've
right
always
for
heard
me.
diabetes. Oh, anyway.
Mhm.
Um, if you don't have diabetes, it people are getting it, right? Just for a weight
I don't
loss.
know anyone who's gotten it for weight loss. Oh, no, I know one person. But most people are getting it because they are type 2 diabetics.
I understand that, but I don't know. Are
But
they
people,
how new is this?
I mean,
This
it came onto the scene when all the others like Ozempic and Wegovy and all those came out. So I want to say like 5 years ago is when people really, really started getting diagnosed with, I mean, getting prescribed this. But I will
mm,
say that for the people who are getting it for weight loss, remember the vast majority have high blood pressure, high cholesterol. So maybe they don't have type 2 diabetes, but they have all the other things that are leading to heart disease.
mhm.
And I heard a doctor say that 75% of Americans should be on a semaglutide because 75% of Americans are overweight.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like we don't know enough about it. It can't be good to be getting, stomach cramps and well, burping is like I get that with vitamins. That's why I have to take it at the end of the day after my body's woken up, and I have to have something to eat with it because I'll burp up vitamins.
You
So
should
I
get
don't
the
know.
gummy vitamins. That's what I take.
I take a couple of them, but I take a lot of supplements, so there's
Oh,
not the gummy isn't available in all of them. But
oh.
um, yeah. So you've lost the 11 pounds and then some.
Yes. So I have no, I have lost the 11 pounds and I am hovering between like around the weight I was at my lowest weight with I'm actually no, I'm like maybe 5 pounds heavier than I was with my lowest weight with those Ozempic. But I just sit there and I'm not gaining any weight and I'm not losing any weight. But here's a one good thing. I had lost a bunch of hair with Ozempic, but with the Mounjaro, my hair is coming back. So
Mm,
my hair is
that's
not,
good.
I'm not as bald as I was, and my hair is getting thicker. So that's nice to know. Um I'm at a place now where I don't care if I lose another pound. I'm happy where I am. My A1C is stable, my diabetes is controlled. I am now exercising regularly. I am healthy, I have energy. I'm enjoying where I'm at. If I want a muffin, I eat a quarter of a muffin. If I want some chicken, I eat chicken. If I want a salad, I eat salad. If I want french fry, I have a couple of french fries. But here's what I don't like, and that is the medical community wants me to weigh a certain weight. They have a number, and that number is the number that they would like me to weigh. And so they want to continue to increase the medication so that I continue to lose instead of maintaining the weight that I'm at.
But do you need to lose some more?
I mean, I don't think I do, but the doctors definitely think I do. So the doctor, like I said, has tried to increase the medication. All the pharmacies are out of the higher dose. And so, you know, I'm stuck where I'm at. I can continue to refill this prescription where I'm at and just hope that I continue to maintain and that after 2.5 years of being on the Mounjaro, I don't gain 11 pounds and have to go on another medication.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question. Do you think that we should restrict the access of these medicines to diabetics or to people who have health issues so that people like myself can have access to the medications when the doctor tries to prescribe them to me? Or do you think we should just give them to anybody who wants to lose 20 to 50 pounds, even if it's just because that's what they want to do? Or do you think they
Yeah.
should be only given the medicine for diabetes prevention or for, you know, or should the people who want to lose it for the MetLife Gala, should they get it too?
Mm, hello?
Yeah.
Oh, you just have to, I, it's hard because I'd like to take it for to lose weight, but if I'm being objective, I'm so on the fence because I know a lot of medications come with side effects, and they're still
Right.
out there, and they do, they serve its purpose. So this is not the only medication to have side effects. I don't know how I feel about it. How do you feel about it? Do you think people who just want to lose weight should be allowed to get it?
Well, I mean, I think about people who want to lose weight because the doctors tell them they need to lose weight or because they just want to lose 40 pounds because they want to, you know, because they want to get their hot girl summer, hot girl bod back or whatever. But
Mhm.
I don't, I don't know. I mean, why can't they just make more medication? It's
Yeah.
like the toilet paper. It's like the toilet paper pandemic debacle. I was like, why on earth was it toilet paper that we ran out of? Why didn't we run out of face masks? Why didn't we run out of hand sanitizer? Why didn't we run out of adult undergarments? Why didn't we run out of flu shots? You know what I mean? It was like so bizarre that people
Yeah.
focused on toilet paper. I mean,
That's
let's face it. My old roommate Tara and I used to use coffee filters. There's a whole lot of different things you can use. You don't have to use toilet paper. I mean, people were buying bidets because they could just spritz, spritz, spritz and wash all that, dookie
uh,
off their buns. So
you know what? I think you still need to wipe people if you're using a bidet. It just seems weird to me that. Anyway, that's a whole nother topic. I just think it's weird that you just went.
Stay tuned, folks, for next week's topic: bidet or wipe.
Or a
Yeah, I
coffee
mean,
filter.
yeah,
You
we
use the
love.
coffee filter?
Oh yeah, if you scrunch them up, they're very, very absorbent. Um, I just want to hear from any of our listeners out there. What do you think? Do you think people should just get it for any old reason, even if it's a vanity project, or should they get it only because it's addressing either an illness or a life-threatening condition, like obesity that causes high cholesterol, high blood pressure that could lead to heart disease. So we'd love to hear because,
I, what do you think? Did you say what you thought?
I mean, I said that I don't know if I said what I thought, but I mean, if I don't know, because I would like to think that if I could get the medication and the doctor would prescribe it to me, then I should get it, you know? Like, for example, no one's saying no if you want to get, you know, prescription allergy medicine as opposed to over the counter. Just go ask the doctor for it. Or if you want to get a topical steroid instead of an oral steroid, go ask your doctor for it. You know, there's a lot of medicines the doctor will say, well, which, we have this medicine or this medicine. So patient can advocate for themselves depending on what they want. So if you want to lose 40 pounds because maybe, you had a baby and you had a hard time losing those last remaining pounds, whatever, but I'd
But
like to think that you could get it if you wanted it.
but do you have to stay on it?
I
Let's
don't
say you
I don't
wanted to
know.
lose 40 pounds and then you take it and you lose 40 pounds. Do you have to stay on it to maintain it?
I don't know. I will say that the same site that I accessed that said 75% of Americans are obese. The doctor also said that you should stay on the semaglutide for the rest of your life. So this is a long-term diabetes treatment. And remember, I don't look at this as a long-term weight loss solution. I look at this as a long-term treatment for type 2 diabetes because it just so happens that part of the treatment for type 2 diabetes is to maintain my weight. And this helps me do that.
Hmm.
But
So
also, sorry, go ahead.
before this came out, what were doctors, people who had type 2 or have diabetes, they had to rely on their own uh,
No,
willpower?
there's medication out there in pill form, and some type 2 diabetics do have to take insulin in the case that maybe their A1C is very out of control and really high. Ideally, they'd like people to like manage their diet and exercise, but let's face it, I mean, I talked about it in the first episode. I went on a very extreme vegan diet where I cut out all carbs and sugar, processed sugars, and I lost 25 pounds, but it's not sustainable. I could never go out to eat. I couldn't eat at someone else's house. I was one of those weird pod people that carries around a bag of food and pulls it out of their bag and, nibbles on it and says, "I'm sorry, I can't eat that," and then go home and feel, genuinely like depressed because I can't eat like a normal person.
Hmm.
And so you have to do something that's sustainable, and this is sustainable. I take this medication on Monday mornings, and then for the rest of the week, I listen to my body and I accommodate. I cook regular meals. I don't change what I'm making for my family at all. I just eat smaller portions, or I try to eliminate as much as possible the carbs, but there's always going to be rice.
Well, okay. I'm just playing devil's advocate, or I'm just like just food for thought. So you say it's sustainable, right? But you had to
Right.
change because Ozempic wasn't didn't have the, excuse me while I choke. Ozempic didn't have the same. It wasn't sustainable. It
Right.
stopped working.
It was sustainable for 2.5 years. And now I'm on the Mounjaro and I haven't been on it for a year. So it'll be interesting, like you said. And I thought about this and I was wondering if you'd bring it up. It'll be interesting to see at 2.5 years if the Mounjaro is still sustainable. Will they have to switch me to Wegovy or one of the, or Tirzepatide is the other one? You're absolutely right. Where do they get the names?
That last one I can't see a kid naming all that. What is it? Ter, ters,
Um, I think it's called Terz Terzipatide or something like that.
Emo Joy, this is my doll, Tercipicide.
Oh, they're called Ribelsis. One's called Ribelsis.
Oh,
Isn't that
what's the names
crazy?
again? What's the names of the baby dolls?
That sounds like it's Jumpok,
Jumpok?
Cachuchu, Jumpok, Cachuchu, and Baby.
Oh my god, that is so cute. Oh my gosh. That's what's going to come out next year.
Right?
That's what you're going to be taking after Mounjaro. It sounds like a character from the Jungle Book.
Yeah.
What's
That's right.
character?
Mowgli. It's
Oh,
like
that's
hey,
that.
it's Mowgli and Jumpok. Anyhow, anyone out there who is on a semaglutide or thinking about a semaglutide, reach out and let us know. Or maybe your doctor's prescribed you a semaglutide and you're just starting out this journey. Let us know. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear how it is for you and how you're adjusting to the medication and what your experience has been like. If you have any questions about a semaglutide, reach out because we love feedback from our listeners.
And I would also like to know how people feel about that question that you posed, whether people who just want to use it as a weight loss tool should be able to get it.
Yep.
Because that is a very good question.
Yep. Cheryl, do you have any more questions for me about Mounjaro?
No, I don't. So, do you still have the Shardy Sharts? No, you said that was for 6 weeks.
It was only 4 to 6 weeks, and I've worked that out. And that was the other thing I totally forgot to add before we end this, and that is, remember when I was taking the Ozempic, speaking of Shardy Sharts, I only eliminated once every 1 to 2 weeks. And I remember you being like, what?
Yeah.
But with them, I'm pleased to announce that with the Mounjaro, I have gone back to a daily or at least once every 2 to 3 days elimination schedule. So anyway, no more Shardy Sharts and regular elimination. And I just can't believe that I just shared that on. So if there's any question about Joy and her pooping schedule, I'm here to tell you the poops, they be good. They be coming out. They be working just the way they're supposed to. No poopy problems. All right. Anyway, I feel like I've overshared today.
And that's a crime.
It is. But you know what else is a crime?
What's that, Joy?
That we are out of time.
That is a crime, but not more of a crime than Shardy Sharts. Thank you for listening, everyone, and don't complicate your day. All creativity, commentary, and opinions in this podcast belong to Cheryl and Joy. Music composed and mixed by Gabe McKeon. Logo and merch managed by Cheryl Callan. Podcast editing, advertising, and social media managed by Joy McKeon. Legal representation provided by John Boljezic. Please like, subscribe, follow, and listen. You can listen to us on Spotify, Audible.com, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. And remember, you can find us on Instagram and TikTok, or you can email us at murderandeverythingelse@gmail.com.
Bye, fishes.